Good afternoon, everybody. Okay, so this will be a short video with a small, shortish discussion of ionization and its implications. But first of all, well, a lot of many of my subscribers are asking me now more than ever. I think it's maybe this question is triggered by the reference to the crown jewels that I mentioned when discussing the diamond industry that I currently aim to open, or at least not to open the diamond industry, because you already have a diamond industry, including in Israel, as I said, but in the industry of raw material, of raw diamonds, and locally created, and of course synthetic or artificial, if you choose this word. So they asked me about what do I have to say about the British royal family. It's actually not a new subject. In the past, people already asked me about it, and well, I will say that. There are many kings and queens and princes and heirs to the thrones in this world. Less than in the past, but we still, even in 21st century, we still have quite a bit of kings and princes. But there is only one Lord of the Rings. And by now you know who is the real, there can be only one, and there is only one, and by now you know who is that one. And potential conflict that I could have with any king or prince in this world does not stem from any real or imagined heritage. Because as you all know, heritages of humans are, or pseudo-humans are mostly, a lot of it is just fabricated and political, and it's like a kind of like a literature, a political literature. But a potential conflict mostly arises from a fact that a person or a group of persons consumed the heroes, and they have them in their blood. And not only in their blood, but specifically, I mentioned blood because when speaking about royal families, the issue of blood is always looming. blood, like bloodline, blood connection. And I will say that, any person, it can be king or it can be prince, it can be a pauper, a prince or a pauper. Any person that consumes these neros is he or she, doomed themselves to be connected to me, to have blood connection to me. Whatever our relationship was before, or if we had any kind of relation, again, political, imaginary, familial, it doesn't even matter, because what matters is the act of consuming the neros, as far as relationship with specific humans goes. I'm not like currently discussing the political issue of countries, because, as you know, this is something that I've discussed a lot in the past, and specifically the punishment of the West, specifically not only with regards to how they treated me, because really this is the smallest issue. The real issue is how they treated the race of people, and how they choose to make the state of Israel their garbage can, and to send all the pedophile garbage here to Israel, to all those scumbags to Israel, because they didn't want to treat the garbage in their own countries. This is the real issue, the big political issue. And how they treated me is just, one subsection in the whole, indictment against them. But if you want to ask specifically about me, about a personal angle, so yes, my personal conflict with any person, again, whether he is a prince or a pauper, can arise from the fact that he ate the neros. He or she consumed the neros, and this place, these people, these hypothetical people, under the control of the Lord of the Rings. That's a fact. It's a physical fact. It's a positively physical scientific effect. Because you already know that these guys, the neros communicate with each other, and that's his effect. And you also you already know that the Israelis try to rule them. It's not a new thing. They've done a lot of experiment. Of course, everything was just one big failure because Israel is a junk country in general, and everything they do in like in most chapper way, like buffoons, because that's what they are. But they've already tried, and the most significant results that was achieved was the COVID virus, and that's a fact, and that is a fact. And I already said that the COVID is actually pretty mild compared to what you can actually, if you really want to, and some people really want to achieve, by manipulating the neros. So they can't really control them. There is only one Lord of the Rings, and that's his effect. So you do the math. Now, with regards to ionization, I would say that there is a possible advantage with ionization because, as I said, ionized concentration of neros, of course, as you might expect, if you color the concentration with maybe a stain, iodine, or perhaps even better, a stain, a microscopic stain like how to why there's ezopin Y or ezotin Y, what's the name? Eosin Y or methylene blue. So you can see that the concentration, inside the liquid, which is acts as a medium for creation of life or whatever you want, you see that the blue concentration or the red concentration is attracted to one of the poles, which is of course expected because this is basic physics. That the ionized concentration will be attracted to one of the poles, and this could be both bad and good. It can be good because it can be bad because we don't know how it affects them. Perhaps it affects them negatively. Even in the negative form, they still produce work, and we've seen that they produce life and matter like that. It was demonstrated many times, so it's not debilitate them, but I don't have any positive proof for how it affects their work efficacy. It might be bad for them, but it also might be good just for the fact that they keep close together, because there is an issue with they can move, of course, but I don't know how quick they can move, and we're dealing with microscopic entities. So when you put them inside a glass, even a small glass, it's like putting a fish inside an ocean. So even if they can communicate with each other, and we know that they can, they might not be able to reach each other because of currents within the liquid, currents that maybe I cannot even control, especially since I don't do my experiments. I don't conduct my experiments in a proper lab. So by helping them, be close to each other by the fact that they are physically attracted to one of the rods, it's a way to keep them close, and it's important to keep them close because they work in tandem. And this is something very, very important. It's not like white blood cells that are coordinated from above by proteins or whatever that are released that send them command, okay, go to a specific place, fight an intruder. The coordination is much deeper than that. They actually coordinate by building stuff together. That they have a big model of a huge thing that they coordinate in order to build, or the way that they draw viruses, and also we have seen them draw huge circles that represent all sorts of stuff. Huge circles, even so big, so large that I wasn't even able to show the whole of it under the microscope using the minimum magnification that I currently can use, which is 64, because I had other lenses, but they are not with me, unfortunately. So the minimum magnification I can use is 64, and the largest is 1500, which is pretty good. But sometimes I need less than 64, like a magnification of 20 or 30, which sometimes are very handy, even in microscopic level. So, but I can't use it right now, and they were actually circles so big that that couldn't be fitted in like in one view, using the minimum magnification. And you can ask yourself, how can they create such a huge circles? And you can see that it's not like a circle that was created in a physical way by maybe dropping like something that, like a drop that is created circle like in a physical way. It was a drawing, because it wasn't a perfect circle. It was a circle of stones, which is not perfect, but almost perfect, which means that, I mean, it's absolutely, inevitable that they first of all, the Neos drew the circles, or created this kind of like a huge temple, and they did do it, and for in order to do it, they created almost a perfect circle, which means that they work in great cooperation. So ionization is a way to keep them together, so it might help them cooperate. But there is another issue that we need to think about, which is the issue of galvanization. When I've already see that one of the rods, the two rods that I use, and specifically one of them, eroded significantly, and which is also something that is expected, because particles we lose. When you perform electrolysis, naturally, one of the rods of the two rods are eroding, and the particles that are inside the liquid are attracting the particles from the rods themselves. It's actually a way to create jewelry, maybe to cover like a piece of jewelry with silver or very, very thin layers of gold or other material. And this is something, I don't know if it's good or bad. For the Neos themselves, it's probably not good, because, why would I want them to be covered with gold or something? They're probably good the way they are. If God wanted them to be covered in gold, He would have been created them covered in gold. So, but perhaps it's a helpful process for other stuff that I want to prepare, to make. Maybe just as an optional part of the process. So all these are things that we need to think about. And of course, I will gladly accept any comments on the matter or suggestions. You know that I'm always open to suggestions and comments. So stay with me. Today I will continue my very important experimentation into the issue of matter, and specifically using the new concentrated juice. The concentrated juice that was, I already show you under the microscope. I will show you today or tomorrow more videos of the concentrated juice under the microscope, so you will be able to have further impressions. I think it's a huge. I don't know what you think. I'm glad to have any opinion. You can already have like positive evidence. You can judge for yourself. If not the efficacy, so at least the matter itself, and the concentration and the size of the neurons within the matter. I think it might be a huge step forward, a huge leap, because I've spoken about it during the last week. This bothers me, because we need to be able to scale our industry. To create large stuff, to create perhaps like big stuff and with huge quantities. And for that, we need to be able to create the enriched juice, which is, I think it's exactly what I created. And this can be a very, very big step forward. Okay, bye for now.